Hello, everyone, and welcome to another segment of Lore You Should Know. I'm Greg Tito. I'm joined by
Chris Perkins.
Hello, sir.
Hi there.
Today, we're going to talk about a subject that you have firsthand knowledge of.
Yes, it's a subject I have researched tremendously over the years and am passionate about. I'm delighted I'm getting paid to talk about it.
It is, of course, trolls and how more trolls are created in the D&D universe.
Troll sex. Right.
Yeah, exactly. How does it happen? Because trolls in traditional lore, as well as in Dungeons & Dragons lore, they regenerate.
Yes, the D&D troll has a long history of regeneration, going back all the way to first edition. Their parts fall off and they grow back.
Yeah. And does that mean that if like if a hand falls off, will it grow a whole other troll off of it?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like if you chop off a troll's hand, like put the hand somewhere, will another troll come out? No.
No. Okay.
The largest portion of the troll will regrow what it's missing. The smaller portion of the troll will atrophy and die.
Okay. Because that was one of the theories that was put forth in the social media question about how do trolls get made?
Although there's range to play. You know, in a storytelling game, if you want to chop the head of the troll, plant it in the ground, maybe you can grow a new troll from its head. Ooh. Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be cool.
Yeah. And then it has to dig itself out. Like,
and then it wants to kill you.
This has nothing to do, however, with troll sex. So we should really talk about the life cycle of a troll.
Yes.
In terms of lore.
Yes.
But we should talk about what kind of troll we're talking about. Because, if we're talking about internet troll, they don't have sex.
Yes, that is true.
They don't have a life cycle.
And I still don't know how they procreate either. But it just seems to, it's a contagion that's out there.
But if you're talking about the traditional green-skinned, warty troll with a long carrot nose.
Yes.
So there was an article in Dragon Magazine.
Yes.
Issue 301.
301.
Yes, by Paul Leach. It was called The Ecology of the Troll, which talked about how trolls get it on. And
they put on Marvin Gaye.
Yeah, anything helps, right? You do what you got to do. One of the things that's interesting to know is that in these relationships, sort of like Klingons, troll females are the aggressors.
Ah, I see.
And so what they do is they essentially beat each other up to get to the mates that they want, and then they beat up the mates into submission to make it happen.
Ah, okay. That's interesting.
Yes.
And that was only introduced in this dragon article?
That was the first time we really got into the details, because typically in monster manuals and things, we don't go this far down the troll hole.
Oh man, that's not the last of the puns that I think will be had in this episode.
Yeah. So we tend to deal with their more combat pertinent things.
Right.
Like, can they get their hands back when you chop them off?
Yes. So this
was the first time we really kind of went down and talked about how trolls make other trolls.
Okay.
And it's trolls don't have eggs. They basically, as written, once the female has gotten herself pregnant,
yes,
she gives live birth to a troll, very much the way that normal people do.
Yeah.
And the troll grows fairly quickly. After a few years, is more than able to hunt for itself. But I always thought that, there's a lot of room, I think, here creatively to do something maybe a bit more interesting with like mating rituals or whatever. Like, I always thought it would be kind of fun if male trolls had to go down into the Underdark to find some Underdark mushrooms that they had to eat and consume to enormous degrees. And then, it passes through their system, and they poop it out, and they rub it in their hair, and that's how they attract, a female troll mate. Because
not how I thought the story was gonna end.
Trolls are disgusting, evil creatures. They're filthy, they're cruel, they're crass. So I think anything we can do to sort of up the ante as far as their hideousness goes.
Yeah,
I would assume their mating rituals are pretty appalling to look at.
Yeah. I agree.
Another way to go is to say, the male has to gnaw off his a part of himself, and the female has to eat it. And that's how it's, that's insemination to a troll.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so essentially the baby troll is grown out of a piece of the male eaten by the female. Wouldn't that be cool? But that's not the lore as we technically know it. The lore is female jumps male, gets what she wants,
right,
goes off, has a baby. Male's like, what happened?
Are they solitary creatures? Are they
Trolls will gather in packs, marauding groups. You can encounter them solo, the ones who have no friends, who live in caves or under bridges or whatnot, and just hunt on their own. The thing is, trolls are chaotic evil, so they don't have a structured society.
Yeah.
It's basically bully or be bullied, and they're always hungry.
Okay, so it's maybe more akin to like a black widow spider or something like that,
right,
where the female controls the mating cycle, and it doesn't really matter.
Correct.
What the male troll wants.
Right, and he's gone at that point.
Yeah,
she's giving birth to a baby, and then there's no dad parenting that happens here. There's very little mom parenting, as a matter of fact. The mom will look after the kid until the kid's big enough to hunt for itself, and then off it goes.
Yeah. See ya.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it other than that mating ritual? Is it a matriarchal setup?
Generally speaking,
the female trolls rule those packs.
In general, if you see anything close to a troll den, there will be a matriarchal figure in charge of it.
Okay.
In some cases, in the past, in adventures and things we've had, we've talked about the female trolls being a bit smarter than the males, and consequently they can do things like maybe even learn spell casting, and you could have like a shamanistic matriarch leading a den of trolls. That's been done before.
Yeah.
They don't tend to make good wizards, though. They're very
simple,
primitive.
First
trolls,
level, second level.
Understand religion in a way. At least the ones who are together in a den where they have some semblance of a society. Sometimes a religion can emerge.
Yeah.
And typically they worship a figure called Prac the Destroyer.
Prac.
Yes. Prac. He is a hideously powerful troll that lives, well, I should say it's not clear whether it's male or female, lives in the abyss with demons. And so when you grow up with demons, you tend to be a bit of a badass, and Prac sort of certainly qualifies. And trolls hold him up as, oh, mighty Prac, super high, I want to be like him.
Right. And that would be a they probably rather than a it, but yeah.
Unclear.
Yeah. And that's interesting. So would the worship of this deity create that society to a certain extent? Like, that's probably might be the glue that holds together the community.
It could also be just a bit of religious BS. Some troll wants to dominate other trolls and concocts a religion based around Prac and the terror and fear that he instills to hold them together and maintain their power.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Fascinating, though, that they try to create this society out of nothing when they can just, go around and hunt.
Speaking of societies out of nothing, trolls are not that picky about what they have sex with, apparently.
Oh. That's
how you end up with two-headed trolls sometimes. Well, in old school, we're talking here.
You mean first edition?
Yeah, like you can have, the 5th edition troll entry mentions that sometimes a troll's regeneration goes wrong.
Oh, okay.
You might chop off its head, and it will grow back 2 instead of just 1. It's rare, sort of abnormal abomination kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I remember the 1st edition Fiend Folio had a 2-headed troll in it. And the story behind those is that trolls mating with Ettins.
Right. And they're in the same humanoid family-ish?
It all fits.
Yeah. The story fits. That makes sense. And yeah, I never really thought of what the troll regeneration was either. Like, is it a type of, I hesitate to say cancer, but something like that, like where cells regenerate quicker than.
Yeah, it's like super iguana stuff.
Yeah,
the same respect iguanas or not. Is it iguana that regrows their tail? I don't remember. It's a particular.
Some lizards. Yeah,
some lizards do. It's just a heightened version of that. Trolls are quasi magical in a way. I think the regeneration has always kind of been portrayed that way. These are not just purely creatures of nature here. That's why the regeneration is so extreme.
Yeah, because it can happen in rounds rather than...
Right.
Yeah.
And then there's the whole thing about the loathsome limbs, which was a feature of Trolls in first edition that got lost over time, sort of winnowed out of the Troll entry and was brought back with fifth edition. The idea that, excuse me,
It's all that chocolate
it's
you
all
just ate, right?
choking on an M&M. Death by M&M is not a bad way to go.
While on a microphone.
Exactly. So where were we? What were we talking about?
You're talking about the loathsome limbs?
Yeah, this idea that the troll... Can't say the word troll.
I think Zaprak is
exactly.
cursing you.
Troll parts can continue to function after they've been cut off.
Ah, right.
And so the severed hand or arm can crawl toward you and attempt to strangle you. The severed head can bite you. It can't move because it's got no arms and legs. So it just sits there and waits for something to land in its mouth, I guess. But the idea that the severed parts do have a life of their own would suggest a highly magical nature.
Yeah, and they were magical creatures when that was a designator
Right.
at some point, right?
Yeah. That's a good question. They're typically categorized as giants in the game, mostly because they're bipedal and large.
Ah,
So ogres, trolls, ettins, they're all part of that extended giant family.
that's why I lumped them together.
Right.
Yeah.
But the regeneration aspect of them does set them apart from most common giants, which tend not to have magical abilities.
Yeah, right.
So they're almost qualified as monstrosities in a way.
What about the Oni? How do they fit into that family?
They're also classified as giants.
Okay.
The Oni, which is sort of a Japanese giant, was originally part of the Oriental Adventures setting of first edition, a monster, a ogre-like creature with magical abilities, spell-like abilities. We collapsed Oni and what used to be something called an ogre magi into one creature, because they were the ogre mage of first edition was very much like a spellcasting ogre.
Yeah.
And so Oni, Ogre Mage have sort of fused into one. And they're like trolls, kind of hateful, unremittently evil entities. Oni are even worse because they're smart. Trolls are dumb. Onis are smart. They do bad things for bad reasons. And they also like to kidnap and eat children, which is not really that fun a thing.
I mean, trolls would do that if they could figure out how to do it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's frightening. I mean,
Yeah.
the way that you're
Oni
saying...
are kind of like boogeymen in a way, magical giants who sneak into your closets and wait until the lights go out before they jump you and drag you off through an open window.
And the 5th edition art kind of supports that kind of like, that kind of creepy
Whereas
feel.
trolls dwell in the fringes of society, are instantly recognizable because they have no guile
Yeah.
and are just ravenous feeders of all things. They will eat whatever they come across, whether they're hungry or not.
But I like what you're saying about how they're able to breed with all of these creatures kind of more easily.
Yeah.
Having a troll Oni hybrid might explain why one of them is a spellcaster or one of them is smarter enough to kind of get more under their will.
Yes. And the wonderful thing about trolls, since we're talking about them in general too, is they're very versatile. They can show up anywhere. Underground, above ground, in the mountains, in the woods, in the hills, under a bridge, by a river. They're one of the actually few kind of iconic D&D monsters who have no real preferred terrain type.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Now, granted, you might not find one under a volcano because trolls don't like the fires.
That's the one thing that can get rid of
Fire
them.
and acid is the thing that neutralizes their regeneration. And if you want to ensure a troll's permanent death, you, of course, burn the remains or you douse them in acid.
Yeah. And you already gave a few ideas about how you could change up their life cycle or do different things, for using them in your game that would make them more exciting than just, hit point bags.
Exactly.
So what are some other kind of fun ways? What if one of them were able to, have an immunity to acid or something like that?
That would be scary.
Yeah.
That'd be very, very scary. The immunity to acid is fun. The idea of the mutant troll is fun.
Yeah.
Hey, this troll had his arms cut off, but he grew an extra set, so now he's a 4-arm troll. There was one of those in Tyranny of Dragons.
Yes.
Yes.
I remember that.
And this guy was also sort of big into fashion. He had like a moss cloak and everything, so he was like real swanky troll. Oh, look at that troll with the moss cloak.
He's
moving
arms.
up in the world. Yeah.
It's like
He
the
should be
Zaphod
on-
Beeblebrox. I grew another arm just so I could.
Exactly.
What was it, skiing or something?
Yeah.
Yep.
Trolls can also be easily tempted. If they see a powerful evil creature, like a wizard or a necromancer or somebody like that, they will serve them if they're well fed.
Mm.
And so having troll bodyguards is also fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they are that bag of HP that's
Yes.
very hard to kill.
And if you have a friend you don't like, you can send them a present, and inside the box can be a troll hand that leaps out at them and grabs their face and tries to claw their eyes out.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. I hate you. Yeah. Here's a troll hand.
Oh, now I know what to get you, Chris Perkins,
Yes.
on the next leap year.
Yeah. I would accept that gift.
Excellent. Well, how can people ask you more questions about the life cycle of different D&D monsters?
Oh my, I don't know if I want to give them my information. And get inundated with, tell me about the life cycle of the whatever. The Tarrasque.
Exactly.
Oh,
Man,
that's
right.
a tough one.
Yeah, they go to the planet of the Tarrasque.
Right. Yeah, that's the only place they get loving.
Yeah, exactly.
I am on Twitter at Chris Perkins DND.
Excellent. Thank you for increasing our sex education on trolls.
I couldn't be happier.
Awesome. We'll be back with some more fun lore next week. Yeah. It has been done. That was a good 15-minute one.
Yeah.
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 We had to stretch a little bit, but we did.
I
we do
suspect
it.
this one will be about 15 tops.
Sweet. This one
Is elemental ships of Eberron.
specifically call them elemental ships.
Yeah, because there's kind of two types. There's the airships and there's the elemental galleons, which go in the water. So-
Okay. Nice. Well, we'll cover them. We were just saying in the interview
elemental
portion of this
vessels.
how this year of 2019 has been very vehicle focused,
It has, between Infernal War Machines and this.
and the Ghosts of Saltmarsh having of ships in the
Oh,
sea
that's
be
right.
a part of it
Right,
too.
yeah.
I was like,
Vehicle
oh.
rolls everywhere.
Yeah, right.
I think that's pure quinkydink.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like, oh, I see a pattern
Something in the
emerge.
zeitgeist.
Yeah. We just like driving. It's one of our most important things to do here at the
Yeah.
D&D office.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, if the bus system was better.
Take that, Seattle City Council.
That's okay. I don't want that.